Hey everybody, this is Mike Cripps, your game master for Escape the Dungeon. Just wanted to pop in here before the start of this episode to let you know that this is more of an introductory episode to who we are as a cast and the game and the kind of stories that we're going to be telling. We're not going to actually start playing Scum and Villainy in this episode. If you're just interested in listening to actual gameplay, go ahead and skip to the next episode. We won't be mad. We are happy to have you here. If you'd like to get to know us a little bit more, keep on listening.
Escape the dungeon!
Hello and welcome. This is Escape the Dungeon, the podcast where we ask you to join us as we explore the world beyond the world's oldest role-playing game. That's right, it is a role-playing actual play podcast where we don't play the game that you're thinking of right now. We're not going to name it. My name is Mike Cripps. I'm going to be your host and your game master for the first season of this podcast, this brand new podcast that we're so excited to do. And, you know, when I was first thinking of how to do this, of how to put together a role-playing actual game podcast, I did a little research, and it told me that the most successful way to do this is to play with a group of 3 brothers. Seems to be a recipe that works well, so that's what I'm gonna do.
Is that true?
I would like to introduce the first of these 3 players that I am so excited to be here with. Here's what you need to know about this guy. He cares very deeply about one of the Manchester football teams, though I can never remember which. He cares about winning arguments, and he's a pretty darn good cook. My old friend, Zach Brass.
Well, those were, I guess, technically correct. Thank you. I'm Zach. I will be playing in this as the oldest brother, although I'm not going to be the oldest brother in the game. I don't think any of they're not my brothers at all, but that doesn't matter. Anyway, yes, Manchester United, that's the one, by the way, if you'll ever remember. I'm going to introduce...
the one that Ted Lasso coaches?
No, he actually coaches an imaginary team.
No,
it doesn't
it's
exist.
A documentary.
Yes. Well, anyway, we'll no. Either way, no. There's no way they had enough money to put us all in the spotlight of that, and I just can't imagine the owners letting them do it without tremendous amounts of money. You know, not our owners. No, sorry. So anyway, that's probably all that you need to know about me, but I'm gonna introduce the middle sibling here. The most important things, of course, are that his favorite thing growing up were dinosaurs. He's fast at running, and he's got really good movie taste. My middle brother, Dom.
Hey, I'm Dom. I'm the middle brother. That's all that stuff is accurate, and dinosaurs are still great, by the way, but I think they're massively underrated considering how...
I definitely don't think they're underrated.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but I think people lose the magic and the love for dinosaurs, and it's crazy.
So, Dom, you have good movie opinions? So
I would say so, but I'm sure we have plenty of disagreements.
You're really into things like Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania?
Shut up. I haven't seen it. I'm sure it's fine. But I don't know. I've heard mixed things. I'm sure I'd like it well enough, but no, that is not the kind of movie that we're really looking at. Okay. Well, yeah, I'm the middle brother. Yeah, Zach kind of basically got it. My one and only younger brother is also going to be playing with us. His name is Nate, and the main things about him, he is just like he's he's the crazy one when playing role play games. He's just he just always plays the crazy stuff, and he's usually the magic guy. All around, I mean, he's an okay guy. He's solidly, solid B tier as a person, I'd say. And I mean, I don't want to. I don't want to say too much. I want to let him speak to it himself, and get into lots of arguments with Mike, presumably.
I don't think me and Mike get into too many arguments so much as I just test to see what his boundaries are on the game we're playing, I wanna know.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's not so much that we get into arguments as Nate is my Sisyphusian punishment that the gods have given me to deal with. That is never ending and is a test of my patience and character.
Some say Emily Axford is that to Brennan Lee Mulligan, so like that's a pretty good place to be. Hi, I'm Nate. I am here. I am the younger brother of two of these players, and I am the bane of Mike's existence. Why he invited me to play in this with him, I will never know. But yeah, back to Mike, I guess. I'll let you handle it from here to let people know a little bit more about our GM. Mike is an only child and sadly not our father. So if you thought you were getting that from this podcast, no.
Yeah, that was the one part of the formula I couldn't make do with. I'm hoping it's like a
time travel, but it
still didn't work out,
I'm hoping that it's like a applesauce for butter kind of thing where it just more or less works and you can't really tell the difference.
Oh my
god. Mike is also a forever GM playing all different types of games all the time. I feel like you just can't handle it sometimes when you're a player. You're like, guys, I have too many ideas. Let's play more games. And he loves comics and hates animation. All things animated,
that is
get out
a disparaging remark. I care deeply about animation, which is why I don't like much of the anime that you guys watch.
Oh my goodness.
That's just slander.
Some of us have taste.
Wow, okay. I believe in my intro it was mentioned that I have taste.
Look, I think some people are able to recognize the things that they don't like that are good, and some people aren't. It's just a part of life.
Well, listen, we've already talked about sports and I've disparaged anime, so statistically we have no listeners left. But I'm gonna keep going anyway. This is Escape the Dungeon. Our idea is right in the name there. We are going to play a bunch of different tabletop role-playing games other than the one published by Wizards of the Coast. We have played that game a lot as this group before we moved on to Pathfinder 2nd Edition is sort of our standard game these days. But the four of us just really, really love tabletop role-playing games. And for a long time, we've talked about how we want to play more, kinds of games, and we thought that this would be the perfect opportunity for us to do this. Because there are so many games out there, right? Like, I've got a bookshelf full of them that I've barely ever cracked open. And so we're hoping to explore those through this series. How this podcast is going to work is it's going to be seasonal. Each season, we're going to play a different kind of role-playing game focused on playing a different kind of story. And we're going to just see if we like it or not. And that's really what we're hoping to get out of this. And guys, everyone can expect us to be total experts, masters of the rules of these games as we play them, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Of course.
This
I
is-
definitely read any of the books.
I'm not gonna lie, I actually did read. Well, I haven't read the full book come back to front, but I've done it all right.
Literally never read a full book of a single game I've played in
Yeah,
all the years I've been playing role playing.
I've never read a full book of a game I've
Ever?
run.
No,
I
got you.
I like reading. But with tabletop games, it's like you there's information in places that like forces you to jump around with it, that like it's so hard to just read cover to cover, because why
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna read like all the rules to the wizard because I'm never gonna play it. It's just not gonna happen.
love to read a rule book cover to cover, like so genuinely, so unironically. I love it.
I so genuinely
I'm
believe
totally
that
unsurprised.
is such a huge nerd move. I mean, mad respect, but I can't.
No, yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. But yeah, I normally just like to read the stuff that I think's probably gonna matter.
Like the monster manual.
Yeah, never even look at that.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Your classes and races, if we got some stuff, and then some of the important rules. Like the sneak rules.
Oh my goodness, the sneak rules.
Yeah, so these are going to be brand new games to us, games that we've barely played, and no, we're not going to be experts in these. We are going to be actively learning how to play as we play them as part of this podcast. And that's something that we're all really excited about, to get to dip our toes in these different systems. The first system that we're going to play, and that I will be your game master for, is a game called Scum and Villainy. You guys are excited about this one, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Let's go to space,
Yeah.
baby.
Are you kidding me? I was a Star Wars child.
This is true.
Yeah, so this is going to be a game where you three are going to be playing a crew of space criminals in a galaxy that is ruled over by a dark fascist hegemony that controls all aspects of life. There are going to be mystical warriors attuned to the mysterious powers of the Way. There are going to be scoundrels and bounty hunters vying for power, vying for influence between the many different factions that have power within the galaxy. And you are going to be a small-time crew in the middle of that, trying to earn credits and make a name for yourselves. What about that, game pitch? What about that summary is, most attractive to you guys?
Don't even get me started. Are you kidding me?
I'm getting you started.
Yeah, that's like the whole point.
Yeah,
What are you doing?
Yeah, I guess it would be a pretty boring podcast. Yeah, I mean, look, come on, that classic crew style adventure, just on a spaceship, beyond just, I mean, your obvious Han, Luke, and Leia with the rest of them. They like you. It's just a trope that's like always fun. The crew on the star trip, or on the starship, your Cowboy Bebop and stuff like that. It's just fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like space is just a fun place to go because there's so many interesting, fantastical elements you can bring in, and there's also just a ton of fun, like philosophical ideas you can sort of explore. Yeah, it's just really cool, and I'm super stoked. I'm really interested to see where the sci-fi angles go.
You could apply a lot of different types of stories just to space, and it's just a cool, different, environment to play it all in. I mean,
Oh yeah, compared to what we're used to, it's fun to actually get to, try a crack at sort of this sort of story.
yeah, I mean, it's normally your Pathfinder in that other game, the swords and dragons and stuff. And I mean, don't get me wrong, who doesn't love dragons and swords? But these spaceships and laser swords are pretty cool too. So
Yeah, I think I agree with Dom that like I love sci-fi because you get to like explore like deep philosophical questions, but like from weird angles that like from just like the most obscure angles. And so I love that. I love like the ideas of the philosophy with like robots and different alien species and like how you deal with each other, and um very excited for all of that.
Nate, what is one like specific thing about sci-fi that you're interested in, that you frankly expect to see in this kind of game, in the kind of story where a group of smugglers or bounty hunters or rebels are flying through the galaxy?
I think in Scum and Villainy in particular, I think I've been pushing for us to play this game for a while now, and I love it because it's like high stakes, but it's upbeat about it. It's like let's uh traverse the odds. So I want a giant spaceship battle. I want some, just some one-on-one spaceship fights, but also just a giant spaceship battle where it's like we can't get through this, but then we go for it anyway because we're crazy space pirates.
Yeah. Now, when you say like a giant spaceship battle, are you imagining like tons of little, single person operated starships like darting in and out, or are you talking about like a behemoth, destroyer, blowing up planets? What do you imagine? What do you visualize?
I think I'd be happier with either. I'd rather not like so much a planet destroyer so much as just a giant ship that it's like how do we stop this thing with our little fighter. um because man, I remember those space fights in Battlefront 2. That was a fun time. um but like yeah, just like wars in spaceships,
Yeah,
drone
yeah,
fights,
yeah, definitely.
and
Um,
robots, lots of robots.
Zach, how about you? Like, what is one thing you expect, nay, demand to see in this kind of story?
I'm a huge fan of just the kind of survival aspect of being that crew out at space. like doing whatever you got to, like just the classic spacer vibe of like, I'll take a job because we're almost out of fuel. Or like, just that classic kind of just almost pirate-esque feel you get
Kind of
from a lot of
that like blue collar space feeling.
Yeah,
where it's like
these guys came out here to make a life, but of course we can't start out on top, I mean,
and like these are people doing their jobs. Like there's a lot of unglamorous, unromantic aspects to day-to-day life in these kinds of settings where somebody's gotta haul fuel from planet to planet and make their deadlines and make their deliveries on time, and it just so happens that they're doing that like in the middle of a war between galactic tyrants and rebels.
yeah, exactly. Sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. Maybe this week you're gonna haul fuel through a safe area. Maybe next week you're going to capture a criminal a white collar criminal that went on the run to Space Russia.
Space Russia.
What about you, Mike? What drew you to Scum and Villainy, and what kind of tropes do you hope to see?
You know what trope I love, and this is sort of going off of what Zach said, but I love in sci-fi and like galactic level sci-fi when it's like weirdly low tech and dirty, and like it's not like sleek, sexy spaceships and chrome everywhere. It's like, yeah, this is my dirty brown spaceship that barely works. It's held together by, space duct tape and space glue. And every mission might be its last because it might just, explode into a fireball when I turn the ignition.
Entirely practical effects, no CGI.
Yeah. I love when sci-fi tech is like bulky and they don't have iPhones in space. They have like those late 80s giant cell phones. That's what I'm talking about.
So I can't have a Bluetooth phone, is what you're telling me?
Not if I get my way. You can have so some of the equipment that is your characters can have in this game is like hacking tools and stuff like that, and I
love that
personally find it so much fun if your hacking tool isn't like a little Palm Pilot. It's like a big ol' suitcase you gotta bust out and like pull the antenna up and like jack into things. And like it's almost
your classic 80s style sci-fi before
Yeah.
they knew that small technology was possible.
yeah, give me big, bulky, dirty space
Obviously, bigger the better.
Yeah,
You
all
can't-
the
How am I gonna hack into the supercomputer with this tiny little gizmo? I need the mega. Get me the extra big hacking machine.
Just imagining someone like they're hacking, like they're just bringing around like a full like computer tower, and they just plug it in, and it's the loudest fucking
like on
thing.
their backpack. It's got like backpack.
Yeah,
clips.
Pull a mouse
absolutely.
from their holster on their side and start just
you have like a separate box that's just the fan, just cooling system.
yes. Just like holstered onto you as well. Like
All the computers are monochromatic, so it's one color
Yeah,
against
yes,
like a black screen,
absolutely.
and that's it.
And like your video feed is in like 320p or something like that.
Yeah. And there are holograms, but the quality is dog shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. Dom, how about you? What's like a big sci-fi trope that you're all about?
Yeah, so there's definitely a number of things. In general, in just sci-fi, I really like exploring whatever sort of scientific ideas are kind of present within the formula of the particular piece. So like how a certain like if there's a certain type of fuel that is very important to people or now in space, I think the big element becomes how far technologies come. So one of the big ones is going to be robots. Robots are a really cool place for sci-fi ideas to really explore consciousness and what it means to be human and what a living creature with rights is. So I really like those stuff. I'm a big fan of what you guys were kind of talking about, the sort of contrast almost between, and that's very much the vibe we're going for with the story, but like sort of that contrasting element of, hey, we're in space and it's super crazy, but like, it's just some guys in space just doing space stuff, and it's like what happens when this becomes sort of layman's technology and like everyone's able to sort of get in there, and it's not just super rich people or crazy scientists. It's like people just doing their jobs, living their lives. And there's just a cool contrast there, I think, that makes it a really interesting place to tell stories.
Like the idea of when we didn't have everything kind of discovered, sometimes people would just be like, fuck it, I'm going to try and make money by looking for gold.
Yeah. Just like, you're like, oh, I got a spaceship. Yeah, we could do this. We're like basically, we could do a little smuggling. It's no big deal. Whatever, man.
Cowboys, like just people just being like, you know what? Look, I can just,
Yeah, there are no laws
do
here.
bounties.
There's no one around.
Yeah, we're just going to figure it out, Stuff will happen,
Yeah, this specific kind of sci-fi that we see seems to maybe be the best genre for like navigating both those extremely small scale and extremely large scale stories and situations where that like you can go to a planet and they're like, well, we are simple, dust farmers, and some local hooligans stole our tools, so we're not going to be able to make harvest this year. And then like you zoom out from there and there's the galactic hegemony who is flying around and going to war with space pirates and blowing up entire space stations. And you can just kind of go back and forth between those stories and tell both of them at the same time.
Yeah, like how did these dust farmers get involved in this intergalactic conflict where it's like, oh, someone's doing this, which is affecting them in this major way that maybe isn't even intentional. Like there's just a
classic butterfly effect stuff.
Yeah, butterfly effect stuff.
Yeah.
There's a lot of scope.
No, I mean, look, it's a cool setting. It's you've got your different sci-fi settings, but for the spacer setting, the kind of thing that we're doing with a spaceship, I think this is the way way you gotta go.
Also,
we're not doing the cyberpunk kind of cityscape or even the steampunky kind of also more on a single place. This is like that spacer stuff.
Yeah, it's this very specific genre. I mean, we're talking about this like some of the biggest movies ever aren't in this genre.
But I don't know what you're talking about.
But I think it's this really special and unique kind of world and setting, and I'm really excited to get into it. And I mean, for you guys to specifically be playing a group of criminals, people who are, more or less out for yourselves and are always looking at the next job and always concerned about the amount of credits that you've got in the bank. And I'm just really interested in that. Tell me, guys, like what about that? What about, that criminal aspect of it is are you most interested in and excited about for this game?
Well, personally, I like to think that we do our best to border the line between legality and criminal as much as possible. There are obviously, certain things, but we're not trying to draw like horrific attention to ourselves. But I think that's part of the fun here. You try and work within as close to the line of the confines of not drawing too much attention of legal attention to yourself. I mean, sometimes things gotta happen, but obviously, we don't want to make ourselves enemies.
Yeah, I think
too many people.
Something great about like this setting in general is that like the Empire shit. I mean, Tyler, cut that. The hegemony. I don't know how to say it.
Hegemony
is
I've been confidently saying hegemony without looking it up. So
sounds good to me. Hegemony is like part of like it's like this big giant evil space government. And so I think that's part of the charm to these like Forged in the Dark games is like you're not going into like this ideal world that's like run by good people. It's like, yeah, you're a criminal, but like that in no way means that you are the bad guy in this scenario. You are just someone trying to make ends meet in like this crazy setting, in this crazy world. And so you're kind of it's a little bit of like your characters are free to do whatever. You don't feel too confined, and let's have some fun doing crazy shit.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I would want to hit on actually there is because you guys are talking a lot about how it's like we're not like bad guys, but it's like a little bit we kind of are. Probably.
Well, okay, no, I never said we weren't.
No, I know.
Guys.
I'm just like clarifying.
I mean, look, we're not though. I mean, obviously, look, I don't want to sit here and try and tell everybody that our first campaign we're going to be a bunch of total like scumbags. Although like the literal name of the game we're playing is Scum and Villainy, so we'll see, but yeah, like I
very
think
light
that...
on the Scum and Villainy here.
No,
I just
we're gonna see what happens.
Yeah, but I think these spacer
I don't
stories...
think our guys view themselves as bad guys. They're not necessarily trying to break the law constantly. It's just that the law is something that you obey when people are watching.
Well, maybe let's talk a little bit about the characters that you guys are going to be playing, because you have already rolled up your characters, and I'm pretty excited about them. You've decided that you specifically want your characters to be bounty hunters. Tell me why that? Why bounty hunters instead of smugglers or rebels? What made bounty hunting so appealing?
I really like The
bounty hunting is fun.
Mandalorian on Disney Plus. I think it's a great show.
Yeah, I was making that
not
There's
sponsored
so
this episode.
many.
They're not this episode.
Look,
but we
you
think we'll
got
get
the
them next time.
Mandalorian.
Come
We're
us,
gonna
Disney,
be
please.
rolling in that Disney money in no time, baby.
I mean, that was the plan from the beginning, right, guys?
Oh yeah, obviously, definitely. We're perfectly happy to be corrupted.
I'm gonna have this MP3 file on Walt's desk by Monday, and I'm just gonna be like, money, please.
Yeah, we definitely had a major contribution to your revenue by promoting
This
That's-
little indie show, The Mandalorian.
yeah, that nobody's heard of.
Yeah,
literally mostly watched by like our friends and family.
Season
that. Are you
3
kidding
out
me?
today.
I'm gonna be
I
real
think?
here. There's no
Oh, yeah.
chance our parents
Perfect
listen to
timing.
this. And we're all related.
chill,
So that's
baby.
like three of the 4 people. Their parents aren't going to listen to this. Like,
Wow. Wow.
Not a
Shooting us
shot.
in the foot already.
you know what? It's funny is because if our mom does listen to this, she's just definitely gonna give me shit for this.
I can't confidently say that my dad knows what a podcast is. So
Oh wow, yeah, that's well, I mean,
You guys what a
that's still
tough game
3
is, though.
people, right? We're good. We're good. This is part of the plan. We know what we're doing.
Yeah. Feel
so
like,
bounty hunters.
Bounty hunter.
Yeah, bounty hunters. Yes, this is definitely gonna have to get cut up to fuck.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. No, I mean bounty hunters. Well, okay, we picked it because of the ship, I think, but
No, it wasn't
we
because of
didn't
the
want to
ship.
be smugglers. I
Genuinely,
knew
no,
that.
it wasn't just that. Look,
Well, no, I know.
there's a lot of class. I think bounty hunters is versatile. That's
Yeah, I
why I like bounty hunters, because bounty hunter doesn't necessarily mean we're going after this guy and we're gonna kill him.
I
feels
mean, I'm
very
gonna be
There's
honest.
cowboy, and I think space cowboys are one of the funnest things to do in this kind of setting, because then it's
Exactly.
just like planet to planet, where are you going for this mission, and then you get embroiled in some other plot maybe in between what's actually happening for just the mission, and you go from place to place and kind of drift. And I think bounty hunters, everyone loves a good
very
space cowboy.
suitable for that.
I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
I think
Space
smugglers
cowboy.
are pretty good too, but I think I don't know as much with you guys, but I definitely wanted to move away from smugglers, and I definitely didn't want to be rebels.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Look, rebels are cool, but I wasn't really feeling the
Yeah,
rebel
I don't think that was the
storyline.
dynamic any of us were going for, though.
Bounty hunters feel like the one where you can you confidently walk in, and everybody's like, oh shit, the bounty hunters are here. And it's not as secretive as the rebels. It's not as shifty as the smugglers.
It's the
The boun-
sexiest choice.
It's the
Yeah,
sexiest
I
choice.
think it kind of is.
Well, I think it's the most moldable choice. You can be a bounty hunter in any way you feel like.
Okay,
That's
I mean,
true,
I could
and-
argue with you here. There's a ton of ways to do smugglers, but I'm not going to get into that.
I would
No,
have
no,
been totally
look, I
happy
see
with
what you're
smugglers.
saying here.
I liked the idea of smugglers.
And
I
that's
just-
not to
Smugglers
say
was the-
you'll never
was the
commit
second
an
choice,
act
I
of
think we can
smuggling
say.
or an act of rebellion in
Yeah.
this game.
No, my character would
Um,
never do that.
But you could be a sneaky bounty hunter, obviously.
Yeah, my character would never do that.
Yeah, no, I know, but I guess I don't know. To me, the main reason I specifically was interested in the bounty hunter is because it felt very versatile and moldable to the types of stories that you could do. And that felt like it fit the kind of crew we were looking for. Where, at the end of the day, I mean, there's a bit of a difference between bounty hunting and smuggling, but if you're smuggling a person that doesn't want to be smuggled, how different is that?
Well, I mean, yeah, that's fair. It's It's basically the same thing in a certain way.
What is human trafficking if not?
No.
Well, look.
Ooh,
No, it's cool. It's
obviously,
alien
that's
trafficking.
not
It's
what I
totally
was
different.
saying. But hey, look, I feel like with me, as Nate mentioned, that like something about the exploring space really evokes that kind of Wild West feel. Just big expanses of nothing and the lawlessness that comes with that. It seems like space would be typically rife with things like pirating and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
So,
and I'll let you guys know right now. You're not gonna run out of opportunities to bounty hunt, right? The jobs will be aplenty. But let's talk a little bit about your individual characters because you have made those already. Forged in the Dark games, like Scum and Villainy, have playbooks, is what they call them, that you can choose between. That is what other games might call a character class. Gives you a bunch of your abilities and powers and whatnot. Zach, which playbook did you choose and why?
I thought long and hard about this. There was a number of playbooks I was really interested in, but I had to go with the Scoundrel. I mean, I feel like I barely need to explain why, but of course I will. We're gonna be bounty hunters or smugglers. I mean, the Scoundrel. I mean, the combination of prowess and charisma that you associate with a Scoundrel is just sounds like the fun classic piratey-esque class to play for this kind of game, or playbook, I guess I should say, using official terminology.
I mean, all the playbooks are these iconic character archetypes for these kind of stories, but Scoundrel does kind of seem like the most iconic, maybe even more iconic than the one that Dom chose. Dom,
The
what
Mystic. Yeah, I chose the Mystic. It's kind of a space monk wizardy guy. Maybe kind of a warrior with magical powers. Follows the path of the way.
the way? The
It seems
Well,
familiar.
what do mystics say in this world? The way follows you. The way.
Oh wait, does
They.
The way guides the path.
I knew this.
Oh, something. Oh God, there's something about lead the way in this. I mean,
Ooh, yeah.
The way leads the
Find
it's not
the
quite
way.
that, but
Find the way.
think about it.
May you find
Yeah,
the way.
exactly.
I like that name. May you find the way.
I feel like that's a fun goodbye for the world.
For the
You know.
world?
Yeah, you just bow to someone. May you find the way. May you find the way.
And also with you.
Oh my god. Sorry.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, there's a few huge examples in pop culture of space mystics, iconic in its own right. But I mean, every sci-fi thing's got a scoundrel, right?
It's the classic. Your Star Lords, your Han Solos, your Spike Spiegels, every space kind of, spacer type kind of thing with a crew like that is either led by or has in a very important role a scoundrel.
Definitely. But I mean, the Mystic is maybe the most important, in universe in the setting, because they have this power that nobody else does. Dom, what attracted you to the Mystic?
I think the main thing that attracted me to the Mystic was the fact that they are the most important, and I just wanted everyone to pay attention to my character. So it just seemed like the best move. No, I mean we needed a Mystic. Someone made a joke comment about like how we needed a not Jedi, and I'm like, oh my god, yes, yeah, I got to do it. So I decided to be that for the team. It just seemed like a cool, obvious pick that's like you can't go wrong with.
Yeah, actually, Dom and I were talking. That was basically the conversation between us was like, okay, look, both of us agree that these are the two that we need. Because Nate had already decided his...
Immediately. He had the full backstory.
He immediately had an amazing idea that we love, and we both agreed that these are the two other ones.
Yeah, I mean, we were just filling out the party.
Like, there's no choice. But look, that leads us to Nate, who had a pretty great idea. So we'll let him
I
talk
think
about it.
for me, my first thought was on the character's ancestry. I really wanted to be a manufactured, so like a clone or a robot, probably a robot. And then I just had a fun idea of like, what if I was a pilot, which is my class, my playbook. Sorry, Tyler cut that. And a robot pilot who can, calculate everything happening like in a way that a human just wouldn't be able to, but who, he's an older bot that's been damaged a bit, and so his programming's a little wonky, and so he's not kind of constrained in the same way other robots are in his recklessness. And so to kind of create the best pilot in the galaxy, that was my goal.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, every starship is gonna need a pilot. And who better than the quote-unquote best pilot in the galaxy? Whether...
Trademark.
Trademark. Yeah, 100%. No one else can say it. I'm the best. That's done. That's in the bag, guys.
Whether you live up to your self-proclaimed reputation, we'll see.
Trademark reputation.
Dies in the first session.
That would be extremely funny if you have that trademarked in universe.
Yeah, that would be. I really like that.
I'm gonna say you do.
Sweet.
As
As the GM, this is a thing you need to do now.
Well, that's great because my character's nemesis is a professional racer.
Oh, I love it. I'm glad you picked that one. That was the one I would.
Yeah, I'm really excited about your characters. I'm really excited about this game. Like I said, we're gonna be learning as we go. I think you've all played 2 sessions of this. I've played 1 session of it before we are going to start recording the For Real campaign. So if you've listened this far, bear with us. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be exciting, and we do get better at things as we go, I promise. We mostly know how to play Pathfinder by now, after like
basically
2 years.
Experts. Yeah, dude.
I actually feel like a pro. Are you kidding me? Like, we started playing Pathfinder 2e kind of early.
I still learn new things about it
Pathfinder
every
2e
day.
Lifespan.
Yes.
Me too. I completely agree with
You know what, guys?
and
I know all the champions'
probably know
abilities,
less
so
than
I
either
know
of you.
everything about that.
But
Well, before we devolve too much into that conversation, how about we decide how we're gonna start this actual campaign, right? How we want to launch into the world of Scum and Villainy. I'm going to start you guys off in the midst of a job. The job being one of the core gameplay cycles of this, how you earn coin, how you earn reputation. And it's gotta be in the middle of a job that's not going super great, right?
I say we have
that is the
someone
way.
captured, but we are on
I have
the
an
run
idea.
being chased by a powerful group as we try to get them to the destination.
Okay, well, look, that's a great idea. I just want to throw mine out there and see what you guys think. I think we should be trying to recapture the equivalent of a space tiger for a really rich benefactor. It's a space tiger that can teleport like certain distances.
Oh, blink cats. Those are fun.
And we're having a bad time with it because it's the space tiger. Personally,
I really like that, and I like to think that we stole this space tiger from someone who already really hated us.
That, I think, is a great idea. Tell me a little bit about who you're doing this job for. There's a ton of different factions in this game. There's like we're not going to go into the specifics right now, into the nitty-gritty. We will in the actual campaign, but basically the factions are divided into government, criminal, and cult factions. Which do you think you are acting for, and which do you think you stole this tiger from in the first place?
Is there? I assume there are multiple of each faction.
Oh, there's dozens.
those are
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a
Okay.
lot.
So look, I think I can safely say that we are both acting for and against criminal organizations.
Cool.
Maybe against a cult organization, but there is, I imagine, some rich.
Yeah, I was thinking of a mob
kingpin
boss. Yeah,
That's,
a mob boss kind of
that
dude.
lost
that's just,
his tiger, and then probably it got stolen by some other
Yeah, I like that. Zach, what's
rival
your
gang.
who's your rival, Zach?
Let me tell you, it's Nyx, the moneylender.
So what if we stole the tiger from that guy?
Oh, okay, yeah, that would be reasonable.
I think that would be fun. And what if we're bringing it to Nate? Who's your friend?
Yatu, a gang boss.
Oh, well, that just is perfect, actually.
Yeah, I just thought that seemed like a fun way to take that.
Yeah, so you guys will be in the middle of a job to try and recapture a stolen and lost space tiger to deliver to a dangerous gang boss. We will see how that goes at the start of the first episode of our Scum and Villainy campaign. Are you guys excited?
Yeah!
Couldn't be more excited.
I am so thrilled to be doing this. I'm so happy to be doing it with my three good buddies. And I'm hopeful that an audience is going to be interested in listening to us and join us as we, wait for it, escape the dungeon. I said the name of the thing.
Oh,
nailed it.
Yes. Okay, great.
I've got one little surprise left for our listeners, and that's that our wonderful silent editor Tyler has composed some original score for us that we're going to be using to kick off this campaign. You're going to probably hear it at the start of every episode, but how about for now we play it off? We play off the episode today with that super sweet music.